Casinos don't care if you win, they only care that you play. And slot machines, those blinking, humming, endlessly spinning machines, are the most profitable square meters in the entire building. One machine, operating around the clock, can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit per year. The house edge, often between 6% and 15%. That means if players feed in $1 million collectively, the casino quietly keeps $60,000 to $150,000, while flashing lights, fake coins, and near misses keep players convinced they're close to winning. This isn't a guessing game, it's a business model. A modern casino floor is less about luck and more about predictability at scale. Slot machines are programmed with a fixed payback percentage. The math is already solved before the machine is even installed. If it's set to return 92% over time, then 8% of every dollar inserted is pure profit. Multiply that by thousands of machines operating 24/7, and the economics become very simple. Casinos win slowly, but they win constantly. Even machines that pay out often aren't doing the player a favor. They're doing what's expected. Frequent small wins give players the illusion that they're staying afloat, while the math ensures that over time, the losses outpace the victories. And because it all feels voluntary, no one forces you to spin again. The design avoids resistance. This is how the industry generates billions in annual revenue. In many US states, slot machines alone account for 60% to 80% of total casino income. The numbers are similar in other parts of the world, but the slot machine is just the front door. Once you're inside, the economics go deeper. Casinos earn on hotel rooms, restaurants, spas, nightclubs, and brand partnerships. Even if you never gamble a cent, you are still monetized through resort fees, drink pricing, loyalty data, and parking structures. And if you do gamble, the system is designed not just to profit from your losses, but to categorize your behavior, how long you play, how often, how much, and then reward or entice you based on those metrics. Casinos operate on data, not chance. They know that a player who deposits $500 in a night is far more valuable than someone who walks in with $20. They also know how to make that $500 player return. Free rooms, drink vouchers, priority check-in, random offers. Nothing is random. Everything is modeled and tracked. This video isn't about teaching you how to win. It's about showing you how casinos win, systematically, slowly, and invisibly. From slot machine margins to loyalty tracking systems, from ambient sound design to comped suites for whales, we'll break down how this industry turns lights and sounds into money, and why it never truly closes, not even when it looks empty. The house isn't lucky. The house is just ahead of the math. Let's look at how. Casinos didn't begin as polished resorts or marble-walled temples of wealth. The early versions were far less organized and far more chaotic. The roots go back thousands of years. Dice-like games have been found in ancient Mesopotamia. Wagering was part of Roman festivals, Chinese imperial courts, and even Greek athletic contests. But the idea of a casino, a dedicated space, run by a central operator where people came solely to gamble, took much longer to evolve. The first official gambling house recognized by modern historians opened in 1638 in Venice. It was called the Ridotto, and it was created by the government during carnival season to control gambling rather than outlaw it. It was structured with dress codes and bouncers, but that idea of regulating instead of resisting would become the blueprint for much of the modern industry. Fast forward to the American frontier in the 1800s. Gambling halls sprang up in boomtowns, saloons, and riverboats. These were not polished places. They were smoky, noisy, full of alcohol and brawls. Poker, faro, and roulette were popular, and cheating was common, by players and operators alike. There were no regulators, no licensing boards, no audit trails. It was just risk, both financial and physical. But as towns matured, so did the businesses that served them. By the early 1900s, gambling had been outlawed in most US states. but enforcement was inconsistent. Underground clubs flourished in cities like New Orleans, Chicago, and San Francisco. Meanwhile, in Europe, casino towns became destinations. Monte Carlo emerged in the 1860s as a luxury retreat for the rich, funded almost entirely by gambling revenue. Then came Las Vegas. Gambling was legalized in Nevada in 1931 during the Great Depression, partly to stimulate the economy. The first casinos were built around construction camps for the Hoover Dam. They were small, often combined with hotels or bars, and designed to keep workers entertained. Things escalated quickly. In the 1940s and 50s, organized crime syndicates funneled money into the city. The Flamingo, opened by Bugsy Siegel in 1946, was one of the first modern casinos. It had glamorous decor, showgirls, and catered to the upper middle class, not just laborers or locals. But even the mob-backed Vegas era had its limits. The 1960s saw the rise of corporate ownership. Howard Hughes famously bought multiple hotels and casinos, bringing legitimacy and investment. Regulations were tightened. Public companies entered the scene. The gaming license became as valuable as the building itself. As Vegas modernized, so did the rest of the world. In Macau, legalized gambling in the 1960s led to massive growth by the early 2000s, especially when American companies like Wynn and Las Vegas Sands moved in. Today, Macau consistently out-earns Las Vegas in gaming revenue, despite being a fraction of the size. Elsewhere, integrated resorts began popping up. Singapore's Marina Bay Sands, opened in 2010, is one of the most profitable casino complexes in the world. It cost over $5 billion to build. It's not just a casino, it's a hotel, a conference center, a mall, a museum, and a skyline landmark. This is the modern model, the integrated resort. Gambling is just one revenue stream. Visitors come for shows, restaurants, shopping, spas, art galleries, and architecture. A guest may never touch a slot machine and still drop thousands on property. In fact, many casino operators now report that over half their revenue comes from non-gaming sources. Alongside the revenue evolution came the technology. Today's casino floors are surveillance environments, built to monitor not just crime, but behavior. Every slot machine has a tracking module. Loyalty cards log every hand of blackjack, every spin, every dollar wagered. Sophisticated systems identify patterns. Who plays fast? Who's nearing burnout? Who might need an offer for a free dinner or discounted room to stay on site? Behind the cameras are eye-in-the-sky rooms, dark spaces filled with screens and silent observers. They don't just watch for card counting or cheating. They monitor flow, how guests move, where they slow down, what games they approach and leave. It's customer analytics done in real time, mapped across a space designed to keep people spinning, walking, and spending. The security tech has evolved, but so have the marketing tools. AI systems now craft personalized offers based on historical spending. A guest who loses $2,000 on a weekend trip might receive a comped room for next month, not as a kindness, but as a calculated investment in future play. Even the laws have changed. Online gambling is now legal in many US states and several countries worldwide. Casinos are adapting, offering branded mobile platforms, digital loyalty integration, and hybrid experiences. In some regions, operators run both the physical and digital floor from the same back-end system. What started as riverboat saloons is now a multi-billion-dollar industry, run by MBAs, monitored by AI, backed by REITs, and diversified across hospitality, retail, and tech platforms. The core product, chance, hasn't changed, but everything around it has. So the next time you see a brightly lit casino, remember, it's not just about luck. It's the result of nearly 4 centuries of refinement, from Venice to Vegas to Macau. And every chip on the table, every spin of the reels, sits on top of a business model designed to make money not from outcomes, but from behavior. Gambling is the surface. The real story is everything that sits behind it. A casino doesn't need to cheat to win. It just needs to be patient. Every game on the casino floor is designed with a built-in mathematical advantage, commonly called the house edge. This edge isn't hidden. In many cases, it's public knowledge. The rules are printed on the felt or posted on the wall, but that doesn't change the outcome, because the edge is small enough to feel fair and big enough to guarantee profit over time. Let's start with roulette. A standard American roulette wheel has 38 slots, numbers 1 through 36, plus 0 and 00. If you bet on a single number and win, you're paid 35 to 1. But the real odds of hitting any one number are 1 in 38. So while the payout implies a fair game, the math quietly favors the house. For every $100 wagered, the expected return is about 94.74, meaning the house keeps 5.26%. That's the house edge. In European roulette, there's only 1 0, so the edge drops to around 2.7%. Still in the house's favor, always. Now let's move to blackjack. Blackjack is one of the fairest games in the casino, but only if you know how to play it properly. The house edge in blackjack can be as low as 0.5% if you follow basic strategy perfectly: when to hit, stand, double, split. But the average player doesn't. They guess. They hit when they shouldn't. They stay when they should double. And with those decisions, the house edge climbs to 2%, 3%, sometimes more. And even when played perfectly, the house still has the edge. Why? Because the player must act first. If you bust, your hand ends, even if the dealer also busts later. That simple rule shift, who plays first, creates the built-in advantage. It's small, but small is enough. Now the slots. Slot machines have no published odds, but they are all programmed with random number generators that ensure a specific payout percentage over time. A common figure is 90% to 95%. That means for every $100 wagered, the machine is designed to return $90 to $95. Across thousands of spins, that 5% to 10% gap, that's house profit. And unlike blackjack or poker, you can't influence a slot machine. There is no strategy, no skill, no timing. Every pull or button press is an independent event. You can't warm up a machine. You can't predict it. You can only contribute to its statistics. Then there's craps, baccarat, sports betting, keno, each with their own edge. Some games offer better odds, some are worse, but they all share one thing. The house is never at a disadvantage, not ever, not by design. This isn't by accident. It's the result of carefully constructed payout, tables, probability distributions, and player behavior modeling. The edge is often just a few percentage points, but across thousands of players and millions of bets, it adds up. And it's not just the games. The design of the experience reinforces the illusion. Most players remember their wins more than their losses. That single $500 jackpot sticks out far more than the $20 bills lost to reach it. This is called loss masking, a psychological effect where small wins and sensory rewards distract from the long-term negative return. Slot machines are especially good at this. They use lights, sounds, and animations even for non-profitable outcomes. You might win back $2 on a $5 spin, but it still feels like a win. The screen flashes, coins appear, music plays, but the machine just took $3. Even the architecture helps. There are no clocks, no windows. The environment is designed to remove time cues. The goal is to extend your stay, because the longer you play, the more the house edge has time to do its work. A lucky short-term win doesn't matter. The casino plays the long game, and the long game always bends toward the math. Casinos don't need everyone to lose all the time. They need most players to lose just a little, consistently. Enough to keep playing. Enough to think they're close to winning. Enough to believe the next spin or the next hand will change everything. The brilliance is in the margin. A 2% edge doesn't feel like a scam. It feels like luck. And luck is addictive. So when you walk through a casino, understand what you're seeing. These are not fair games. They're not rigged either, but they are engineered. The payouts are real. The thrill is real, but the math is constant, and the math favors the house. Over 1 hour, one player can beat the odds. Over 1 million. Bets? The casino always wins. It doesn't matter who's lucky tonight. The house has time, and time is all it needs. Slot machines don't shout at you. They whisper, and that whisper is worth billions. They don't try to beat you all at once. That would be too obvious. They beat you slowly, gently, one button press at a time. And the reason it works has less to do with luck than with psychology. Let's start with the variable reward schedule. This is a foundational principle in behavioral psychology, identified in early experiments with lab animals. When rewards are given at random intervals, rather than on a set pattern, the subject continues the behavior for much longer. Even after the reward stops entirely, the behavior often persists. Why? Because unpredictability builds anticipation, and anticipation is powerful. Slot machines are the perfect application of this concept. Every spin is independent. You might win nothing 5 times in a row, then get a small payout, or a big one, or something that feels big but isn't. The inconsistency is the hook. It's what keeps people playing. Then there's the concept of the near miss. Modern slot machines are programmed to deliver near wins on purpose. You spin the reels and see 2 cherries line up, and the third just barely misses, or lands a millimeter above the pay line. That loss is functionally no different than 3 mismatched symbols, but it feels different. Your brain interprets it as progress, as being close. Studies show that near misses activate reward centers in the brain almost as strongly as actual wins. That spike of dopamine, followed by frustration, primes the player to keep going. Just one more spin, maybe the next one, and those one more spins add up. Now look at the lights and sounds. Every modern slot machine is designed not just to function, but to stimulate. The reels spin with a pleasing whoosh. Wins, even small ones, trigger celebratory jingles. Coins don't fall anymore, but the sound of coins clinking still plays through the speakers. That sound is engineered to evoke the feeling of success, even if the payout is less than the bet. This is called losses disguised as wins. You wager 150 and win 0.75. On paper, you lost money. But the machine lights up, plays music, flashes the word win in gold letters. The message, you're doing great, keep going. These false positive reinforcements train the player to keep playing, even when their balance is steadily dropping. One study found that players misperceive up to 30% of their spins as wins, when in fact they're losing money. The feedback loop is designed to confuse the emotional experience of playing from the actual financial result. Then there's the machine layout itself. Slot machines are arranged in clusters, corners, islands, themed zones. The goal is to create a sense of both privacy and community. You're in your own little space, but close enough to see others winning, or at least hear them. The jackpot bell, the blinking lights. It all contributes to the illusion that someone is always winning, which means, maybe, you're next. Lighting is kept dim around the machines, but highlighted above the reels. The brightest light in your field of vision is the spin area. It focuses your attention. Your world becomes the screen. Everything else fades away. The room loses depth. Time feels slower. You enter what designers call the machine zone. This isn't a metaphor. It's a real state of altered awareness. Many habitual slot players report losing track of hours while playing. No clocks, no windows, minimal staff interruption. Everything is calibrated to reduce friction and increase flow. Payment systems reinforce the illusion. Cash is almost never used anymore. Instead, players insert bills or load digital credits. Tapping a button to bet doesn't feel like spending money. It feels like playing a game. And when you win, the payout appears as numbers, not as physical chips or bills. Psychologically, this reduces the pain of losing and increases comfort with risk. When the credits run out, a prompt appears. Insert more to continue. No need to leave your seat. Just a quick reload and the game resumes. Some machines now offer multi-game panels, You can play 4 or 6 games at once. Your eyes dart across multiple screens, tracking spinning reels on each. This raises engagement and shortens decision-making time. It's not just more stimulating, it also increases the number of bets per minute. The more spins, the faster the house edge compounds, and it is always compounding. Because even though the payout percentage might be 95%, that remaining 5% is the casino's income. Every $1,000 fed into the machine returns $950 on average to players. The remaining $50 goes to the house. The next $1,000, same. And the more you play, the closer your experience aligns with that average. The occasional jackpots, those big, flashing wins, are part of the system. They're not accidents. They're accounted for in the math. They're not giveaways. They're advertisements. You may win $800 tonight, but that's paid for by hundreds of players losing $10, $20, $50 each. The machine still profits. Even button layout is optimized. The spin button is oversized and centrally placed. The cash out button is smaller, farther away. Some machines even offer autoplay options. Press once and the game continues without interruption. Less friction equals more spins. And then there's the nudge. Some machines allow players to stop the reels manually or choose when to hold and spin. This creates the illusion of control, even though the outcome is still determined by random number generation. Feeling like you have influence makes people play longer, even when that influence is an illusion. Casinos know all this. Slot machines are not just revenue generators, they are data gold mines. Every action is logged. Every bet, every pause, every cash out. If someone shows patterns of heavy losses, they may receive a voucher. If someone is nearing a tier upgrade, a bonus offer might trigger. The goal is simple: reduce the chance they walk away. This isn't chance, it's architecture. The colors, the lights, the sounds, the math, all carefully assembled to achieve a singular goal: keep you in your seat. The slot machine isn't just a game. It's a science experiment you're invited to join. You press the button, it spins, you win, or almost win, or lose in a way that doesn't feel like losing. And because of that design, you press it again. The casino floor may be where the noise is, but it's not always where the money is. In many modern casino resorts, non-gaming revenue now exceeds gaming revenue. That's right. Casinos often make more money from restaurants, rooms, entertainment, and retail than they do from the tables and machines. Let's start with hotel rooms. At most major properties, especially in Las Vegas and Macau, the room rate is just the beginning. Guests are drawn in with discounted or comped stays, but nearly every detail of that stay is monetized. Want to check in early? That might be $35. Late checkout? Another $40. Use the minibar? A single water bottle is $9. And don't even think about moving it. The sensors will charge your account for the item if it's lifted for more than 15 seconds. And then there's the resort fee. This is one of the quietest streams of income in the casino world. Often $30, $50 per night. It's added automatically at checkout and supposedly covers amenities like Wi-Fi, fitness center access, pool towels, or complimentary local calls. Whether or not you use any of those things doesn't matter. The fee is charged anyway. And because it's listed separately from the room rate, it's excluded from online price filters, making the room look cheaper than it actually is. Multiply a $40 resort fee across 3,000 rooms every night, and you get $120,000 in daily revenue from a charge most guests don't even notice until the last moment. Now let's talk about restaurants. High-end casino resorts operate like full-service food empires. There are fine dining establishments run by Michelin-starred chefs, mid-range, bistros, quick-service food courts, buffets, and room service. Some guests spend more in one day eating than they do gambling. Food and beverage operations are designed with tiered pricing psychology. The buffet is intentionally placed near slot machine corridors, often open late into the night. $39.99 gets you unlimited crab legs, prime rib, and soft serve. It feels like a bargain, but many of the items are low-cost fillers. Pasta, rice, potatoes, soda. The real money is made on volume and low labor per cover ratios, fewer waiters per guest, faster turnover, pre-portioned servings. In the fine dining restaurants, the equation flips. A single plate might cost $75 or more. The margins are tighter because ingredients are premium and chefs are expensive, but the brand value is higher. These restaurants become marketing tools that elevate the resort's status. They attract influencers, business travelers, food tourists, and of course, the wine list is where profit lives. A bottle purchased wholesale for $60 might sell for $260. Even if a guest loses at blackjack, they might tell their friends about the amazing duck confit and wine pairing. And that memory becomes brand equity. Now shift to retail. Inside, every major resort is a curated collection of shops, designer brands, watch boutiques, sunglasses, handbags, and high-end cosmetics. These stores are leased by luxury retailers, but the casino often takes a percentage of gross sales as part of the deal. These shops are strategically placed along high-traffic paths, the walk from the lobby to the casino, or between restaurants and elevators. The lighting is soft, the glass spotless. Everything says, reward yourself, and it works. Guests who just won at the tables might splurge. Guests who lost might shop as consolation. Either way, the resort earns, but perhaps the most profitable parts of the casino resort are the ancillary services. Valet parking might be free for top-tier loyalty members, but for everyone else, it's $25–50 per visit. Gym access, printing documents, shipping luggage, dry cleaning, all of it has fees. Want a poolside cabana? That's $200 for the day, maybe more if it includes a fruit plate and some Prosecco. Attend a concert or comedy show on property. That's revenue. The casino may book artists who draw crowds, then sell tickets at a premium, or even take a loss on the show, knowing the foot traffic will lead to restaurant reservations, drinks, gambling. There are also venue rental fees for weddings, corporate events, influencer meetups. Even if an event is free to attend, sponsors or organizers are paying thousands to host it in a premium space that's already been designed to convert foot traffic into spend. And then there's room upgrades. At check-in, a guest might be offered a premium room for just $70 more per night. The hotel knows which rooms are likely to go unsold. Selling them at a discount is better than letting them sit empty. The margin is almost pure profit. The cleaning cost is the same. The electricity is negligible. But the price difference? That's extra yield, and yield is what matters. On the back end, the entire resort is wired for spending optimization. Guest purchases are tracked, categorized, and linked to loyalty profiles. If someone orders champagne with every meal, the system might offer a dining credit on their next stay, an investment to ensure they return. The rooms have motion sensors tied to thermostats. If the room is empty, the temperature resets to save. Electricity. If the minibar is opened but not used, it's logged. If the guest hits a spending milestone, an automatic email might arrive offering a free breakfast or spa credit. All of it adds up to a single, silent truth. The resort makes money whether you gamble or not. The tables might bring you in, but the real revenue is built into every touch point, every room charge, every snack, every delayed checkout. You walk in for the roulette, you stay for the dinner, and the bill builds itself, one decision at a time. So the next time someone says casinos only win because of gambling, remember this: the real business starts after you leave the table. Casinos aren't designed to look good. They're designed to control your behavior. Every hallway, every carpet, every scent is chosen to do one thing: keep you on the floor, engaged, and spending. This isn't theory. It's tested, refined, and optimized over decades of observation, psychological research, and data modeling. Let's start with something you probably never noticed. No clocks, no windows, Casinos intentionally remove time cues. No wall clocks, no natural light, no references to sunrise, sunset, or the passing of hours. The idea is to create a timeless environment where players lose track of how long they've been gambling. This effect is real, and it works. Studies show that players in clockless environments stay longer and are more likely to make repeated bets. Time becomes fluid. Minutes stretch. Hours blur. Next, consider the layout. Most retail spaces are arranged to help you find what you're looking for quickly, not casinos. Casinos are designed as labyrinths. There are no straight lines from the entrance to the exit. Instead, you'll find curved hallways, unexpected turns, branching corridors. This isn't accidental, it's deliberate. Curved layouts slow people down. The lack of clear exits discourages leaving, and the wandering creates incidental exposure. On your way to find a restroom or restaurant, you might pass 3 slot clusters, 2 blackjack pits, and a roulette table. Each of a chance to stop and play. The longer the path, the more opportunities to convert. Slot machines are placed at choke points, near elevators, food courts, escalators. You don't go looking for them, they find you. Even restrooms are sometimes positioned behind clusters of machines, forcing guests to walk through active areas to reach them. Then there's the carpet. Casino carpets are famously wild. Loud patterns, swirling designs, strange color combinations. Why? One theory is alertness. Complex visuals keep your senses mildly stimulated, which helps prevent fatigue. Another is subtle zoning. Different carpet patterns may signal different sections of the floor, slots, high-limit tables, sports betting, without signage. Your brain begins to associate these spaces with emotions and behaviors, and above all, the carpet never draws your eyes down. It pushes your attention up to the machines, the lights, the action. Now, let's talk about lighting. Lighting in casinos is tuned with precision. Slot areas often use warmer tones, oranges, golds, reds, associated with comfort and excitement. Table games may use focused pools of light, which isolate players and make chips and cards easier to see. Walkways are usually dimmer. That way, active play zones pop out more. Your eyes are gently pulled toward engagement, and that lighting changes throughout the day. Not for the guest, but for the camera systems. Surveillance rooms monitor reflections, shadows, and visibility in real time. Even lighting choices are balanced between mood and monitorability. Another invisible element, sound design. Slot machines are programmed with rewarding sounds. Bells, rising tones, upbeat jingles, even when you lose money. These sounds are tested for emotional resonance. They make you feel like you're winning, even if you're not. The background music in common areas is slower, ambient, non-distracting. It's chosen to keep people relaxed, comfortable, and unhurried. But in high-action zones, craps tables, sports bars, the tempo increases. Louder music, faster beats, energy rises, and with energy comes more aggressive betting. Then there's scent marketing. Many casino resorts pump custom scents through their ventilation systems. Each brand has its own signature smell, designed to be memorable, comforting, and specific. These scents become linked to positive memories, wins, excitement. Later, when a guest smells something similar elsewhere, it can trigger a desire to return. This is called associative scent memory, and it's a quiet but powerful form of brand reinforcement. Some scents are even zoned by area. A spa might smell different from a slot floor. The poker room might carry subtle leather or wood notes. Everything is designed to make the space feel immersive, intentional, and separate from the outside world. Now think about seating and comfort. Slot machine chairs are often wide, cushioned, and slightly reclined. Armrests, cup holders, swivels. Why? Because once you're comfortable, you're more likely to stay put. Some chairs are designed to slightly rock or bounce, which keeps the player engaged through subtle physical feedback. At table games, the layout creates small social spaces. Enough distance for privacy, but enough proximity to create energy. The Dealer acts as both host and manager, welcoming but professional. The environment is controlled but never stiff. And then there's color theory. Casinos use colors associated with wealth: gold, deep red; energy, orange, purple; and excitement, bright accents like green or blue. Cooler colors are avoided in high-traffic areas because they promote calm and disengagement. Warm tones keep people alert, but not agitated. Even signage is coded. Cashier signs are bright and simple. Promotions use flashing animation. Exit signs are legally required, but often subdued. Small, plain, placed out of sight lines. The message is clear: stay, not leave. And all of this, lighting, layout, sound, scent, spacing, is tested, adjusted, measured. Casinos collect heat maps of foot traffic. They know which paths generate the most engagement, which machine clusters convert best, where bottlenecks reduce time on device. They change layouts seasonally, swap games that underperform, test new designs behind. The scene's a casino is not a building. It's a behavioral environment, a machine built to manipulate your time, your mood, and your spending, without ever making you feel forced. You walk in, you play, you explore, and before you realize it, the sun has set or risen, and the machine around you has done exactly what it was built to do. Casinos make billions from tourists betting $20 at a time, but they treasure the ones who don't. In the casino industry, the term whale refers to a very specific kind of guest, someone who wagers in tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars in a single visit. They might sit down at a baccarat table and place a $50,000 bet without blinking. And they're not rare, just highly cultivated. These are not celebrities or influencers. Most whales are quiet business people, entrepreneurs, or international financiers who have money to lose and understand that gambling is entertainment, not investment. But their presence can shift a casino's bottom line in just one weekend. So how does the business treat them? With complete precision. From the moment a high roller expresses interest in visiting, a dedicated host is assigned. This person is part concierge, part relationship manager, part negotiator. They'll arrange flights, often private. The hotel suite, comped naturally, might span several rooms, include private elevators, spa access, butler service, a stocked bar, and skyline views. If the whale travels with family, a second suite is reserved. If they bring a team, an entire floor may be held. All of this is free, as long as the player plays. But of course, it's not actually free. The cost of luxury services is a fraction of the expected value of play. If a whale is known to bet $100,000 a hand and plays for 8 hours across 2 days, the mathematical edge the house holds translates into enormous expected profit. Even with a relatively low house edge, like 1.2% in baccarat, the casino stands to gain thousands per hour. Here's the equation. A whale bets $100,000 per hand, plays 50 hands per hour. The house edge is 1.2%. That's $60 million wagered per hour, x 1.2%, $720,000 expected profit per hour. In reality, the player might win or lose dramatically. But over time, the math holds. The casino doesn't count on individual hands. It counts on volume and consistency. If a whale loses $2 million on a trip, the casino might quietly comp another one. The value goes beyond the chips on the table. Whales often bring entourages. Their presence adds prestige. Other players see them in the high-limit rooms or walk past velvet ropes to reach private lounges. It enhances the atmosphere, signals exclusivity. To keep these players loyal, casinos offer tiered incentives known as comps. These range from small perks, free dinners, upgraded rooms, show tickets, to major ones, shopping credits, chartered transport, or rebates on losses. For especially important players, casinos may offer loss discounts. If a whale loses $1 million, they may get 10 to 20% back as a rebate. It sounds generous, but it ensures that the player walks away less bitter and more likely to return. Some casinos go even further, hosting private tournaments, offering matching bonuses, or building custom spaces inside the property for a single guest. In extreme cases, the casino may offer to fly the player to another city if it knows the local location is nearing loss limits, and the loyalty goes both ways. Whales often have preferred properties. They build relationships with hosts, dealers, chefs. They feel known, valued. That emotional connection makes them less price sensitive and more likely to stay in a particular casino ecosystem. Casinos track this data obsessively. A whale's average bet, preferred games, loss tolerance, visit frequency, and emotional triggers are all logged. Offers are tailored precisely. If a player hasn't visited in 3 months, a last-minute, just-for-you sweet offer might appear. If a whale's average loss in a trip was $300,000, the next offer might include a luxury shopping voucher or a penthouse with a private chef. This personalization is powered by loyalty systems, but extended through human discretion. Hosts are trained to recognize mood shifts, ask about family, suggest time at the spa when needed. Every interaction is a chance to extend time on property. And why is that time so valuable? Because whales don't play slowly. One evening in the right seat can change the balance sheet of a property. While the slots churn slow profit 24/7, whales inject volatility and opportunity. That volatility is managed carefully. High-limit rooms are often separate, staffed by senior dealers and pit bosses, monitored more closely and padded with comfort. Plush chairs, soundproofing, personal cocktail servers. It's not just about making the player feel important, it's about keeping them focused, relaxed, and playing. And unlike most guests, whales may not pay $1 outside the casino floor. Their food is comped. So are drinks, spa treatments, and often retail purchases in on-property boutiques. But it doesn't matter, because the expected value of their play far outweighs the cost of these amenities. The term casino whale conjures images of reckless millionaires. But the reality is more measured. These are high-net-worth individuals who enjoy gambling as high-stakes leisure, and the casino treats them as investments. The spending is tracked. The comps are calculated. The suites are designed not for comfort, but for conversion. So the next time you hear about someone being flown across the world for a free weekend in a penthouse, remember, it's not generosity, it's calculated acquisition, an invitation to step into a space where the drinks are free, the room is perfect, and the house edge, quietly, confidently, never stops working. The casino floor feels effortless, smooth, air-conditioned, polished to a mirror shine. Drinks arrive, chips clack, cards slide, and the lights never flicker. But behind the curtain, there's an entirely different world, one that never sleeps, never slows, and is engineered to function without being seen. We'll start at the ceiling. Above the gaming floor, sometimes hidden behind one-way glass, sometimes tucked into sealed surveillance rooms, is the eye in the sky. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of cameras watch everything. Every table, every slot machine, every corridor, every cash desk. Nothing is left to chance. Not because casinos expect constant cheating, but because the cost of missing a single theft or fraud attempt can outweigh years of margin. The surveillance team doesn't just look for obvious signs like chip theft or card switching. They watch for patterns, players who always leave ahead, dealers whose losses are too consistent, groups who sit and move together in ways that suggest coordinated behavior. Every tape is stored. Every incident is logged. If there's a dispute about a payout, a blackjack hand, a dropped chip, it's reviewed in slow motion. Decisions aren't based on memory or gut feeling. They're based on footage, and the surveillance is layered. While the live team monitors current activity, automated software flags irregularities, like unexpected chip movements or deviations from betting norms. In larger casinos, facial recognition systems can even alert staff when a known scammer or banned individual enters the property. It's not just about watching, it's about remembering. Now move below the floor into the back hallways, the ones guests never see. Casinos have staff-only corridors that run like arteries behind the glamour. These tunnels allow employees to move silently between sections without crossing the gaming floor. It's faster, cleaner, invisible. Everything from fresh linens to restocked playing cards moves through this system. If you're sitting at a blackjack table and the dealer swaps out mid-shift, odds are they came from this hidden pathway. Staffing a casino is a 24/7 operation. Every role is covered in rotating shifts. Dealers, bartenders, cage operators, security, surveillance, cleaning crews, IT support, maintenance, and more. There are graveyard shifts that begin at 2 a.m. There are midday rotations for peak traffic, and all of it is tracked and managed with software that accounts for skill level, table demand, and fatigue patterns. Take dealers, for example. They don't stand in place for 8 hours straight. They rotate tables every hour or two. Some casinos rotate dealers every 20 to 40 minutes. This prevents overfamiliarity with players, limits opportunities for collusion, and reduces physical and mental strain. A tired dealer makes mistakes, and mistakes cost money. At any given time, pit bosses are patrolling the tables. Their job isn't just to supervise, it's to balance operations. They manage dealer shifts, resolve disputes, flag high rollers, and approve large bets or payouts. When a player requests to raise the table limit or cash in a large chip, the pit boss gives the go-ahead or declines based on house policy and the player's profile. Pit bosses also help maintain the casino's internal economy. If a regular player has been losing heavily, the pit boss might offer a comp, free dinner, show tickets, a room upgrade, not out of kindness, but strategy. It's cheaper to give a stake than lose a player. Then there's the cage. This is the casino's financial nerve center. The cage is the secure area where chips become cash, and cash becomes chips. It's where wins are paid out, markers are issued, and cash is counted. Staff in the cage undergo extensive background checks, and security protocols are strict. Double counting, dual key access, rotating shifts, constant camera coverage. Casinos process vast amounts of money every day. It's not uncommon for major resorts to handle millions in cash flow in a single shift, and every dollar is accounted for. Cage operations are linked to internal auditing systems that reconcile player activity, chip movement, and electronic transactions in real time. Behind the cage is the soft count room, a high-security area where bills from slots and table games are counted. Cash boxes from machines are wheeled in, opened under camera, and fed into sorting machines. Every box is tagged and time-stamped. The entire process is recorded and auditable. Even slot machines are connected to central systems that track coin in, coin out, win percentage, and error logs. If a machine malfunctions, someone in the back knows before a guest even reports it. And we haven't even touched the hospitality side. Kitchens prepping for breakfast at 2 a.m., housekeeping teams turning over sweets by 3 p.m., engineers maintaining ventilation, lighting, plumbing, and air pressure balance across massive floor plates. Every chandelier, fountain, carpet, and escalator is monitored on a schedule. IT staff ensure that loyalty systems, security doors, lighting presets, and digital room keys function flawlessly. Even the background music that plays in the lobby is programmed. Tempo shifts throughout the day to match guest energy levels. Then there's the compliance team. Casinos are among the most tightly regulated businesses in the world. Every financial transaction, especially over certain thresholds, must be logged under anti-money laundering laws. Player data must be encrypted and securely stored. Internal controls must be reviewed, tested, and certified regularly. Failure to comply results in fines or even license revocation. So there's a whole office, often tucked between HR and surveillance, dedicated to nothing but regulation. And all of it, surveillance, staffing, finance, security, is managed by a control room, often known as the command center. From here, operators monitor everything. Guest flows, machine status, staffing levels, emergency alerts. If a fire alarm goes off or a medical emergency is reported, the control room coordinates the response instantly. They are the silent overseers of a business that never stops. To the guest, the casino is a playground, a glowing, effortless space. But underneath that glow is a machine, sprawling, meticulous, unblinking. Cameras rotate, dealers shift, chips flow, doors lock, and 1,000 professionals work, not to surprise you, but to make sure you never see anything surprising at all. In the casino business, the best compliment is silence. No glitches, no interruptions, no mistakes. Just the quiet efficiency of a system designed to keep the floor moving, all day, all night, forever. Casinos don't guess what you want, they already know. Every time you play, whether it's a slot machine, a blackjack table, or even a round of video poker, your actions are being tracked, not in a sinister way, just in a methodical, calculated, fully permissioned system known as the Player Loyalty Program. These systems go by different names: Total Rewards, M-Life, Grazie, Identity, or simply the Players Club. But they all work the same way. You sign up, usually to get some kind of benefit, like a free drink, discounted meal, or express check-in. You're issued a loyalty card, or more recently, a digital ID linked to your phone or face scan. And from that moment on, the casino begins collecting data. Every bet, every hand, every spin. If you insert your card into a slot machine, the system logs not only how much you bet, but how fast you play, which machines you prefer, and how often you cash out. If you buy in at a table, the pit boss notes your starting stake and watches your average bet over time. That data is entered manually or semi-automatically and used to calculate something called theoretical loss. This number is key. It's not how much you actually lose. It's how much the casino expects you to lose based on the games you play, your average bet, and the length of time you spend playing. From that number, the casino decides what to give you in return. If your theoretical loss is $500 on a trip, they might offer a comped room next time, or a dinner credit, or bump you up to the next tier. And tiers are where it gets interesting. Most loyalty programs have 4 or 5 levels. The base level gets you access to some perks, maybe a buffet line pass or discounted drinks. The next tier brings better rooms. Higher tiers bring private lounge access, dedicated hosts, birthday gifts, complimentary suites, limo service, and eventually, full VIP treatment. But you don't get there by spending. You get there by playing. Someone who spends thousands on restaurants or hotel rooms won't climb the ladder. But someone who bets thousands, even if they win, gets rewarded. Because the casino doesn't care whether you walk away ahead this time. It cares about how much you bet overall. That's where the edge lives. The brilliance of the system is how it turns losing into a relationship. If you drop $800 playing blackjack, but get a free steak dinner and a weekend suite out of it, it doesn't feel like a loss. It feels like an experience, something valuable, something exclusive. And that feeling makes you more likely to come back. The more you play, the more tailored the offers become. Maybe you always stay on Tuesday nights, or always play penny slots near the bar. Maybe you love roulette, but only play odd numbers. The system tracks it. And the next time you log in or visit, you might find a personalized offer, 2 free nights, plus $100 in slot credit. The message: we see you, we want you, come back. Casinos even track non-gaming spend. If you charge dinner to your room, it's logged. If you buy a watch in the retail shop, the system knows. Some loyalty programs assign you a total worth score that blends your betting habits, dining behavior, and hotel preferences into one master profile. At the top tiers, players are assigned personal hosts. These are hybrid concierges and player agents who manage your stay, upgrade your rooms, escort you to events, and quietly nudge you to play just a little more. If you haven't visited in a while, they'll call or email. If you've just hit a new tier, They'll send a bottle of champagne or offer a comp on your next trip. All of it is done with one goal: maintain loyalty, and the offers are dynamic. If a rival casino opens across town and offers a better comp structure, your home casino might increase your incentives automatically. The algorithm responds to threats, adjusting offers, adding perks, and tightening retention. Some properties even use predictive models to estimate how likely you are to switch and intervene before you do. And here's the quietest part: your data is immensely valuable, not just to casinos, but to their partners, restaurants, luxury brands, event planners. If you always stay in a penthouse and eat filet mignon, you're a target for other high-end products. And while data privacy laws regulate how this info is shared, many casinos operate under consent-based agreements that allow for broad internal usage. The loyalty program becomes more than a tracking tool. It becomes a behavioral feedback loop. Play more, get more, lose more, feel better about it. And over time, you're not just visiting a casino, you're part of an ecosystem. So yes, the drinks might be free, and the room upgrade might feel like a gift, but none of it is random. The loyalty program doesn't guess, it watches, it learns, and then it invites you back with exactly the right offer to make you say yes. Not all profits in a casino are flashy. Some are tucked away in the corners, quiet, dependable, and often unnoticed. Let's start with the ATM. You're at a slot machine. You've run out of cash. You don't want to leave the building. So you walk 10 steps and use the nearest ATM. The fee, $7.95, sometimes more. That's not shared with a bank. That's the casino's own machine, owned or leased in-house. Multiply that fee by hundreds of daily transactions, and it becomes a serious revenue stream. In a single year, a busy property can earn hundreds of thousands from ATM charges alone. Now shift to the hotel minibar. You open the fridge and see a small bottle of vodka, some mixed nuts, a can of soda. You know they're overpriced, everyone knows, but convenience wins. That soda costs $9, the vodka, $24. These items cost pennies to restock, and they don't require service staff. No waiter, no prep, no dishes, just a barcode scan. And many minibars are now sensor-based. You don't even have to consume the item. Move it, and it gets charged. It's effortless revenue, made possible by tech and location. Then there's late checkout. Standard checkout might be 11 a.m., but for $50, you can leave at 2 p.m. That doesn't cost the casino much. Housekeeping is scheduled in waves, and most rooms aren't flipped until late afternoon anyway. But the fee, that's pure margin. Early check-in is another variant. You arrive before noon and want to freshen up. That'll be $35. And again, you're not paying for a product, you're paying for convenience. And casinos know exactly what that's worth to you. Wi-Fi is another quiet stream, often bundled into the resort fee, but in many cases, still tiered. Basic internet is free, but for streaming speeds, HD video, virtual meetings, that's an extra $14.99 per day. For most properties, bandwidth costs are fixed. The marginal cost of offering faster internet is negligible, but it's offered like an upgrade, another psychological upsell. Don't overlook valet parking. At many casino hotels, valet used to be free. Now, $25, sometimes $50 overnight. And guests pay it gladly, especially in cities where street parking is impossible or unsafe. Valet service is already staffed and insured, so the revenue, again, is high margin. Now look at third-party partnerships. Casinos often lease retail space to luxury brands, restaurants, and salons. These aren't just tenants, they're revenue share partners. The casino takes a percentage of every sale. If a guest drops $5,000 on a watch, the resort quietly earns hundreds without lifting a finger. The same goes for nightclubs, entertainment venues, and branded dining spots. Gordon Ramsay doesn't run the kitchen, a local team does. But the name draws guests, and the casino takes a cut. Even your room key might make money. Many casino hotels print ads on the paper card holder. Upcoming shows, slot tournaments, dining specials. That space is sold advertising, much like digital banners. It's subtle, but it works. Finally, there's breakage, the industry term for unused value. Gift, cards that aren't redeemed, resort credits that expire, loyalty points that aren't claimed. All of these represent promised value that never leaves the system. And in accounting terms, breakage is profit. Casinos forecast it, model it, and even design promotions around it. Offer every guest a $25 spa credit, knowing that only 60% will redeem it. The rest, quiet margin. None of these things show up on the gaming floor. They don't flash, they don't ring bells, but they make money, slowly, silently, and dependably. They're the background hum of a casino's economy, not the big wins, not the high-stakes tables, just the little extras, the friction fees, the forgotten charges, the quiet profits in the corners. Somewhere, not far from here, the chips are still clicking. There's a soft rhythm to it, the sound of plastic, glass, felt, the quiet murmur of conversations in half a dozen languages, the occasional bell from a jackpot on a penny slot. It's late, or maybe early, but the lights haven't dimmed. They never do. The casino floor lives on a different clock. A guest walks slowly across the carpet, drink in hand, eyes scanning the roulette wheel. At the bar, a bartender polishes glasses, resetting for the next wave. A dealer leans forward, offering another hand of blackjack. Just one more. And above it all, the ceiling cameras turn gently, unblinking. In the back hallways, a pastry chef pulls trays from an oven. Somewhere in a private suite, a whale dozes off in a silk robe, room chilled to 19°C. A pit boss checks their tablet. A tech resets a machine. A housekeeper turns down a bed. Outside, the city is asleep. But here, the economy keeps humming. Most guests have no idea how much was made tonight, not just from bets, but from minibar charges, resort fees, spa credits, and ATM withdrawals. The big wins and big losses will balance out. But the little wins, the ones that never blink, they pile up. A valet slip here, a late checkout there, a tier upgrade that costs nothing but brings you back. The lights are soft now, the music down a notch, the air cooled and filtered to perfection. This isn't chaos, it's control. A business engineered to look effortless, a building that never truly sleeps because it profits best when you forget the time. Someone will win tonight. Someone always does, and someone will lose. That's the game. But behind the game, behind the velvet ropes, the polished brass, the custom scents, and the curving hallways is the real system. A casino is not about luck. It's about behavior. And that behavior, yours, mine, everyone's, is watched, measured, shaped, gently. You can walk the entire property and never see the control room, never meet the analyst who priced your suite, never notice the layout that nudged you toward the high-limit slots instead of the elevator, but you felt it. The pleasant confusion of time, the warm glow of loyalty status, the ease of spending without thinking, the sense that maybe, just maybe, this time is different. And now the machines are quieter. Fewer chairs are filled. The energy softens. A couple heads back to their room. A lone player cashes out. The cleaning crew arrives, like stagehands resetting the scene for tomorrow. There's comfort in the predictability, in knowing that this place, this strange, glowing, high-gloss ecosystem, continues. As you sleep, the data syncs. The offers update. The cages reconcile. The lights stay on. Tomorrow, new guests will arrive. New bets will be made. The same games, the same margins, the same whisper of one more spin. But for now, the casino floor exhales, not closed, just quiet. And somewhere in the distance, the elevator chimes, softly, predictably, exactly on schedule. And now, As the air cools and the lights settle, as the chips are stacked and the cameras pan one last time for the night, let the numbers fade, let the games pause, let your thoughts drift away, wherever they may go. Good night from the casino floor.